Hey, sorry I missed your call. I was just calling you back to let you know that I love you and I miss you.
This ain't cheddar, this quiche.
We've all heard it before. Find your person and you'll be happy. Movies, songs, and even your grandma has been telling you that true love is the missing piece to your puzzle. But what if I told you that's a lie? Look, relationships can be amazing. They can bring joy, connection, and even growth. But here's the truth. No partner, no soulmate, no perfect person will ever complete you because you're already whole. And if you don't feel that way, a relationship won't fix it. It'll just highlight the gaps that you're trying to fill. So today we're going to break down the myth of completion, the dangers of seeking fulfillment in a partner, and how you can build a life so good that love becomes a bonus, not a necessity. Because let's be real, if a relationship is the only thing holding you together, what happens when it falls apart? If you've ever been in a relationship, you know that you're limiting yourself from personal growth. Now, of course, you can grow as a person, mentally, psychologically, physically, spiritually, while you're in a relationship, but it slows down to a certain point because of the companionship, because of the fact that you're with somebody else and you may have to aid in their development as well. Now, I'm not saying that this is a drawback, but I'm just saying your 100% attention on yourself and your development will be taken from you. And I don't care what nobody says, but falling in love or being in this lust type of situation, which it is in the very beginning, this puppy love honeymoon period, just because you feel so connected to somebody doesn't mean that it's making you a better person overall. And most of the time it's making you a worse person because more than likely you're going to become lazy. You don't want to do stuff. You just want to spend all your time with your partner instead of being productive. Now that may not go for everyone, but I'm sure if you've been in a relationship, you know what I'm talking about. And let's just say you beat the odds. You guys both go to school together, you work at the same exact job, you live together, everything you're doing is productive, quote unquote. But you have to take into consideration the time commitment that you're spending with that other person. Being in a relationship, I can tell you already that your partner is not going to want to be productive 100% of the time like you may be. There's going to be moments in time where you just want to Netflix and chill and spend the whole day screwing off because there's nothing else that you'd rather do with each other. It's just the reality of the situation. So it is very important to understand these things before you ever get in a relationship, especially if you've never been in a relationship before, and just acknowledge the fact that your productivity will go down and you're going to have to create these pockets of time where you're productive and then other moments when you get to spend your time with your partner. And don't think that your boyfriend or girlfriend will ever respect you more or love you more for spending more time at work or being productive. It just doesn't work that way. They're going to get bored of the situation. You're not spending enough time with them, and so they'll just latch on to somebody else. It happens all the time. You may think I'm spending all this time to make more money for us so that we can go out and enjoy ourselves more, but in reality, your partner just wants quality time with you.
So you can really grind.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't nobody going nowhere. Bella ain't going nowhere, unless a girl get a new nigga or something. But like Bella ain't going nowhere, Brooklyn ain't going nowhere, whatever. You know, whoever you like in this moment. But get your ducks in a row first and grind and not have no restrictions. There's real restrictions when you're in a relationship.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
you gotta always consider their feelings.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't really work how you want to work.
Yeah.
And if I can tell myself something at age 22, I would tell myself not to get in a relationship because it's damn near like having a part-time job, bro.
Yeah.
You really have to apply a lot of time and effort. Like you might be doing videos all day and your girl get an attitude when you're doing your last video. Like, nigga, when you gonna take me out to eat?
Yeah.
When you gonna take me to the movies? When we gonna go on a date? And then it causes relationship problems in your real life that can affect your content. And you might get mad in an argument. You might not want to film the next day. Might not want to stream the next day. Might not want to go to the studio the next day. Whatever. Like.
The biggest reason not to get into a relationship, especially if you're trying to grind it out and better yourself, is simply due to the fact that it's a distraction at the end of the day. Let's not act like it's not. I know all of us would like to spend time with a significant other so that we can relax ourselves, get rested, and get back to the real world. But at the end of the day, it's just a distraction. It's a side quest that not a lot of people are ready to start. and they just happen to fall into it because of lust, because of feelings or urges that they may have, and then all of a sudden they have a kid and a whole family, and they don't know how to support that family yet because they weren't being productive enough and focusing on themselves. Now, I hate to put it in that frame because it doesn't have to be that way for everybody, but 9 times out of 10 for a lot of people, that's the reality they fall into. They're stuck working this 9 to 5 job while they're going to school or doing something like that. All of a sudden they fall into a relationship, get that girl pregnant, or she gets pregnant by some dude, and now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place because they're trying to figure out how are they going to come up with all this money to take care of this family that they now have. If they weren't distracted by these men and women to begin with, then they wouldn't be in this situation until they're ready for it. I once worked with some guy who missed the birth of his own child because he had to work. He took it upon himself to pay for his girlfriend's college tuition, and I did say girlfriend, not wife. Well, she did nothing but go to school and got his girl pregnant, and all of a sudden he's working 16-hour shifts just to support his family. Now, you may think that's honorable, and maybe it is, but at the end of the day, if that girl had her stuff set up and if they planned out to have this kid in due time, they wouldn't be in this situation. He wouldn't be in that situation because the pain I saw on his face every single day is just sad. And what if she left him? All of a sudden she got a free diploma out of this dude, and now she has a kid. He has to pay child support. He's the only one working. It's just so many bad situations that you don't want to end up in because it's a distraction at the end of the day. This dude would constantly tell me about his personal life and how he wanted to go back to school himself, get a degree, do something in the STEM field, but he had to put all that on pause just because he wanted to pay for his girlfriend's tuition first and made sure that she got into college. And then in between all of that craziness, he gets her pregnant. Yeah, bro's cooked. Talk about simp behavior, but hey, some dudes out there, they're willing to do all that and not even put a ring on her finger, but it is what it is because even if he did put a ring on her finger, that doesn't mean that she's indebted to him just because he paid for her college tuition. And that's the sad, scary part about this whole reality. Instead, I would make sure that I put myself first. I take care of myself. I go to school, pay for my own tuition, get better in life, and then meet some lady later down the line that has her shit together as well. Because personally, I'm not going to deal with this struggle type of love where we're constantly trying to build shit when we should have just built by ourselves and then came together at a later date. But hey, for some people, it works out differently, and I could respect that.
Girls want to date an entrepreneur until they see what comes with being with an entrepreneur. You think for 1 second that dating an entrepreneur, especially one that is successful, means you get freedom? Take it from me. I'm sitting at the office of the entrepreneur right now, where he's getting 2 jobs for the price of 1. It's 24/7, and I'm out here being 24/7 with him. When I started dating my fiance, he basically told me from the get-go, I want to end up with someone that supports me in my goals and my dreams. That's the one thing I'll never give up. I was like, oh, that sounds easy enough. No, I'm out here in the trenches. If you want to be with someone that's uber successful, you need to know that you will most likely come in a lot of seasons second to the business, and you need to be so okay with that, like so for real okay with that. You might even lose some friends over this because some of your friends will not be able to relate. If they're with someone that's in a 9 to 5 and you're with someone that's actively building a business, they will not understand your suffering. And let me tell you another thing. These guys have such high expectations of you, more than you have for yourself. As their partner, you need to level up. And the reason why is because there's going to be a lot of hard days. And you're going to be out there in the trenches with them as literally God's strongest soldier. Top of all of this, let's just add the fact that they love delayed gratification. So the moment they achieve their goal, they're going to kick the ball down the road and they're going to have another goal to achieve. It's never ending. So you just better get used to the cycle. I feel so blessed to be with someone that has goals and dreams and is so ambitious. I want him to achieve all those things and I want to be right there to support him. All I'm saying is, if you want to have a life of leisure, go find a man in finance, because I'm telling you right now, these guys, no, they're hardwired differently. The hunt is better than the kill. They're always on the chase. So best of luck to you out here, because it's hard. It's hard out here.
If I knew then what I know now, what it means, what it takes to be in a relationship, I would recommend anybody that's under the age of 25 to never get in a relationship before you max out your dreams, your goals, if you're going to school or if you're trying to get that job that you really want. Don't get in a relationship before then. Now, me personally, I did graduate college without ever being in a committed relationship that whole entire 4 years, but I did have little dabbles here and there with girls, but nothing too crazy that got me distracted. But when I did get out of college and started pursuing YouTube, all of a sudden I got a girlfriend, and now all my energy is tapped because I'm distracted on this one girl instead of focusing and putting that energy into YouTube, which is my passion. Back then, around the time that I met her, I went 6 months without ever even posting on YouTube, and that hurt me to the core because before I met her, I was posting like 2 to 3 times a day for 4 months straight. I really thought getting into a relationship was going to add something to me that I was missing while I was going to college, but no, I was wrong. It's great being in a relationship, a happy one at that. But at the same time, you don't really understand the emotional energy drain that you will go through just by being with somebody else. I mean, you could say this about your friends, but let alone your partner. It's a different type of an emotional investment that you have to give that just mentally drains you on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis because you're dealing with your problems and now you have to deal with hers, or vice versa. I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but this is going to help some people understand the situation better. It's like getting a companion in an RPG game and all of a sudden doing their side missions, their side quests, instead of focusing on your own. So you're advancing their story and the things that are happening between you guys mutually, but your own story, the main mission, the main quest, is never being done. And it's hilarious when you look at life in that aspect, because it's like we're moving along some way, somehow, but I'm never really focusing on myself and my main quest to better myself, whether that's financially, mentally, spiritually, whatever it is that you're trying to do, or even just get in shape. So many times your girl just wants to chill out and not do too much. Now, if you have a girl who's very active, then that's A+ for you, but there might be other aspects of your relationship or your life that you just aren't connected on. One thing that not a lot of people understand when getting into a relationship, especially for the first time, is your reduced decision-making freedoms. When you're on the outside looking in of a relationship, sometimes you think that extra person is going to be somebody that's going to help me build towards my goals. That's going to be one more brain, one more thought leader that can help me better myself, when in all reality, that's just another person that could bring you down. And I'm speaking from an optimistic point of view. The reality is, you're just going to have disagreements every now and then. You two are not going to agree on everything, especially how certain things should be done. You say tomato, she says tomato, and that's just how it is. When you want to get up and go to the gym at 5 a.m., she might not want to. And because she doesn't want to, she's going to try to make you not want to do it. And if you go out and do that, then she doesn't like the type of person that you are. Or the best example out of them all is the man is working a significant amount of hours, like 10, 12, 16-hour shifts, and all of a sudden, the girl's at home thinking he doesn't love me because he's not spending enough time with me. He's over there working all the damn time. That's so sad, because in reality, you think, well, I'm just trying to make all this money so I can spend on my girl, we can have our times out and do this and that. But she sees it as, you're not spending enough time with me, you don't love me. And see, that could be very problematic. Or you could just be a productive type of person and want to get things done all the time, and that's against her. That's not who she is. She's a more lazy person, and that could definitely work against you. But if you're ever in that situation, just leave the relationship, throw it away, and start again. Because it's never worth dealing with somebody that's trying to manipulate you for your time and attention, let alone love. I don't want this video to come off as if I'm bashing relationships and I'm telling you not to get in a relationship ever, or to only deal with a man or a woman for your pleasure and then toss them to the side and only focus on yourself. I'm not making that type of video. What I'm saying is, there's a certain point, there's a certain phase in time where you have to dedicate yourself to your purpose and all of your work with zero distractions. This time frame could be a couple months, a year, 2 years, or even 5 years and up. It all depends on how hard you're willing to go to better yourself in that time, so that you can set yourself up for greatness, and then you can find a partner and settle down with somebody. Don't ever think or believe that you need to be with somebody else in order to make yourself great, because that's simply not the case. You find that solace within yourself before you ever find it from someone else. It comes to certain talking stages or even being in a relationship, it all comes down to balance and boundaries. You need to set up these boundaries before you get serious with any type of person. Let them know, these are the times that I'm going to be productive, or these are the goals and ambitions and dreams that I have for myself, and these are the things that I want to achieve, and nothing is going to distract me from getting to that. Remember, being in a relationship is for reproductive purposes only. I'm not saying that you have to become a monk and you can't talk and flirt to girls and kiss on girls. I'm not saying all that, or vice versa, but being in a relationship is meant for you to be married and to reproduce and have kids. So understand, the fruits of your labor is going to be given back to your children. You want to make sure before you ever have children, before you ever get serious with a woman, that you have things going. Don't be caught up in pleasure where you're trying to get off on some girl, but then at the end of the day, you have a kid and now you're stuck working a 9-to-5 dead-end job like Amazon to try to pay for that kid. No, don't do it to yourself. It's the worst possible thing that can happen. And not only that, but you would also want to experience the fruits of your labor by yourself and not having to put that towards a child or towards a significant other. Sometimes you just want to go party because you work hard and now you get to play hard. So it comes down to that as well. Being in a relationship won't complete you, but you setting yourself up for success will complete that relationship. Don't ever forget it. Make sure that you take care of the hardship first so that way you could party later. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.